All right, once again, it's Wednesday today, so if you were not here for Monday and Tuesday stuff, make sure you watch those videos before moving on, because again, that kind of builds on it. The way your test works is you need to watch the 4 videos, which would be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, or whatever it might be for that. But after you watch your 4 videos, contact your teacher to let them know that you're ready to take the quiz. And I don't know how every teacher is going to do, but for me, it just is one of those things where you let them know you want to take the quiz. That next day that you're in class, you take the quiz. Again, you don't get a calculator, so make sure you're practicing everything. But like I said, that's pretty much how it works. And of course, after you take the quiz, you're going to go ahead and continue on with the next videos, and everything else will keep moving. Outside of that, pause the video real quick, as it says right here, because that's why I have to write these notes for myself, and then work on the first, I don't know how many questions there are, I'm assuming 6 questions. Work on those 6 questions for yourself, make sure you know how to do them, and then, like I said, afterwards, check your work to make sure you got it. The plan is that there are 9 questions on here. One of them is probably a little bit outside of reach, but I feel like if we at least can get somewhere from 6 to 8 out of that 9, then your first quiz should be solid, and your test should be decent. So let's just see what happens and go from there. But like I said, pause the video, go ahead and try it out, and then I'll get started on explaining these things. First off, remember again, addition, subtraction, same level. So you're going to do 14 minus 10 first, which is 4 plus 2. Then you're going to do your 4 plus 2 and get 6. If you got 6, that's great. If not, you want to make sure you check that out. And again, make sure you make that adjustment. Second one, again, multiplication, division. Remember, that's not parentheses, that is multiplication. They're on the same level. So you will do this first and that second. Even if you don't memorize what's what, I honestly think that you could do it from muscle memory if you practice enough times on this stuff to get some of these things right. Because again, there are freebies. This is a freebie, that's a freebie. To me, number 3 is a freebie. All you have to do is remember that you do the division first. Like, the signs aren't even changing. Like, it's literally been subtraction, division, multiplication, addition every single time, because all we want you to do is prove that you care enough to actually try this stuff out. But like I said, outside of that, multiplication goes next. This goes next. 14 minus 4 is 10, and then 13. So like I said, I mean, all this stuff, I think, for what we've been doing is very repetitive, which means, again, as long as you're trying to kind of learn this stuff, I think you should be fine. Don't forget, in number 4, again, the parentheses is first. So you do that. 6 minus 4 is 2. The exponent is second, so you do that part second. So it'll be 3 times 2 squared is 2 times 2, or 4. After that, again, multiplication, division are on the same level. So multiplication is going to go first, which is 12. And then 12 divided by 2 is 6. So again, that's really what you're looking at, is just making sure you're ready for all that stuff and going. When this one here, 5m to the third, when m is equal to 2, it's going to be 5 parentheses 2 to the third, because that's what's telling you to plug that in for m. After that, remember that the exponent goes before multiplication, so that's 2 3 times, which is 4 times 2, or 8, which ends up being 40 as your final answer on that one. And then the 6th one that we've gone over this week is this one, which again is pretty straightforward. You simply substitute. Remember, since t is just here by itself, I don't need to use parentheses, but because e and f are attached, I'm going to be safe and substitute those things using parentheses to keep them from getting confused. But the key idea here is that multiplication is always stronger than subtraction, and so you end up doing 3 times 6 first, which ends up being 20 minus 18, or 2. So again, those 6 questions were from this week. Test yourself on those. If you got some right, feel good about it. Make sure you kind of check those out to keep the skill, but really focus on the ones out of this that you missed, because again, the goal here is to pretty much just feed you the answers. You notice I haven't given you a lot of different types of homework. It's just been straight up whatever is on the test, practice it so you can get it down, and then take the test and try to make sure you get that done. Again, the goal is to get you out of here, so just make sure you're trying to get out of here. So new information here is going to be whenever you actually square a negative. So for example, evaluate y squared or simplify y squared, which is the same thing. When y is negative 4, it ends up being negative 4 squared. And the issue is that people think this is negative, but you've got to remember that negative 4 in parentheses squared is actually negative 4 times negative 4. And if you remember the rule, 2 negatives or if both negative, you actually end up with a positive 16. So you want to be careful on that and making sure you don't mess up on that. But whatever you square a negative, it's going to be positive. So on this one, when you have your e equal to -9, again, putting that in here, you get -9 squared. Again, that's -9 times -9, which is 2 negatives, which makes it a positive 81. So just kind of keep that in mind as you're going. So if you want to take a second real quick to look at number 9 before we move on to the next level of this, try it out and see if you can do it. What you should have done first was write the -7 squared. You should have recognized again that this means -7 times -7. That 2 negatives makes it positive, and that 7 times 7 is 49. Now, of course, that's not the test question, but we are building our way up to it. The next part is that you should take, or that we actually add a number to multiply. So again, you'll put this here, you'll put your 6 parentheses -2 squared, and it's just like the stuff we just did. I mean, again, a lot of this stuff is repetitive. You just got to make sure you remember the order. And again, the muscle memory kicks in. Remember that exponents get done before multiplication. So you do this part first, which is -2 times -2, or positive 4. And 6 times 4 is 24. So again, that's just the steps that we're taking working towards this next question. Again, we're going to look at 8 questions, which is 2 of them today. And then we'll use tomorrow to kind of review a little bit and then get you ready for the test and go from there. Simplify 5h squared when h is -3. So again, you're going to do 5 parentheses -3 squared because that's what it wants. This means -3 times -3. Again, 2 negatives means that it's going to be a positive 9. And then 5 times 9 is 45. Again, -3 squared first because the exponent gets done first. That turns to 9. From there, 5 times 9 is 45. So the problem that we're getting ready for is like number 12. So this is actually your quiz question on Friday. So I hope you're trying to get ready for this. Again, what you'll do is substitute first. You're going to put 3 parentheses -3 squared minus 4. This is still the first thing you're going to do, which is -3 times -3, or positive 9. The next thing you're going to do, because multiplication is stronger than subtraction, is the multiplication. And then in the end, 27 minus 4 is 23. And there it is. And you notice that everything that we just worked out is in the same order as the problems we just talked about. I'm not trying to trick you. We're not trying to trick you. We just want you to try a little bit. Again, once you try and you figure out how to answer these things, we can push for you and get you out of this class and make sure you never have to take this stuff again. But remember, if you do have to take this class over, you're going to have to listen to this information for 3 or 4 more quarters again next year, which I think that's torture. So we'd rather hope to, kind of see you get out of here. Again, second one, b is -2, so put your 7 parentheses -2 squared minus 2. Again, the exponent goes first, which is -2 times -2. The 2 negatives makes it a positive 4. The first thing you want to do next is multiplication because it's stronger than subtraction, which is 28, and then 28 minus 2 is 26. So again, just kind of keep all that in mind as you're going through this. Number 14, simplified 3v squared minus 5 when v is -5. Again, v is -5, so 3 parentheses -5 squared minus 5. This means do the exponent first, so -5 times -5, which is a positive, again, 25. So hopefully you're getting used to that pattern. From there, we do our multiplication. 3/4 makes 75 cents, and 75 minus 5 is 70. So again, this is the 7th question that we're looking at on the quiz. The first 6 that you did to start the day. And then this is your first new question. Again, I don't think it's tough. I think that as long as you pay attention to the fact that that negative squared is always going to be positive and practice it over the next today and tomorrow, you should be safe in terms of being ready for that quiz. And again, remember, if you miss a day, just watch the video at home. That way you can keep up. Because since this is the 4th quarter, there is no making it up. If you fall behind on your videos and you can't take your quizzes on time, then whatever grade you end up with is what you end up with. So just be careful on that. New information, topic number 2. Anytime you take 1/2 times something, it's like saying what's 1/2 of that something. So 1/2 of 10 is 5. Or it's just 10 divided by 2. When you do 1/2 times 24, it's saying what's half of 24. In other words, cut it in half, which is 12. Not a tough topic, but something that you just want to be aware of. When you do 1/2 times 8, that means 1/2 of 8, which is 4. And when you do 1/2 times 14, that means 1/2 of 14, which is 7. So looking at this from the perspective of where everything is going, let's just get right to the next question that you're going to see. So on this is very similar to the question that we did to start. Actually, let me show you that, because I want to make sure you understand how repetitive this stuff is and how much it's set up for you to do well if you really want to do well. Hold on real quick. Where's that one at? There it is. So back in the beginning on number 4, you had a number, parentheses, something minus something squared divided by 2. Number, parentheses, something minus something squared divided by 2. The only thing different about this question is the fact that it's a half. And the only thing that threw you off maybe before is that you were still pouting about not having calculators or stuff, but the 1/2 times anything is easy. You still do the same thing. The parentheses still goes first like it did on the other problem. You copy your 1/2, you bring down your 4 and your squared, you bring your divided by 2. You still remember that exponents go next, which is 4 times 4, or 16. Now we are going to do the 1/2 times 16, which, as I explained, is 1/2 of 16, which is 8 divided by 2, or 4. And that is it. It's the same exact question as what you just saw earlier if you've been getting ready for this. The difference is you have a 1/2 there, and the other difference is when you do 1/2 times that, you just cut it in half. So whatever number you get there, you just cut it in half. You're not going to see any odd numbers. You're not going to see anything weird. Again, this class was not designed for you to fail. It was designed just for you to try to show that you actually care enough to try. And I think as long as you start doing that, I think everything can work out. Again, it's just got to come from you. Number 20, again, copying this down. First thing you want to do is a parentheses. 9 minus 7 turns into 2. 2 squared is going to turn into 4. Next thing is what's 1/2. I'm sorry, that should be 1/2 times 4, which again means 1/2 of 4, which is 2. And then 2 divided by 2, it goes in 2 goes into 2 one time. So again, that is where you are in terms of your effort, in terms of your participation. Just being careful on that. That's the 8th question. Again, we're not even going to go over the 9th. The 9th question, strategically, I don't even think it's worth our time to try to go through. Mainly because it has fraction addition, it has fraction multiplication, and as I like to say, you don't need to be able to do fractions to pass this semester. Now, you do need to make sure you learn everything else, but you can get through this stuff without knowing how to do the fractions. It won't be a great score, but at least you'll get a 60% or higher, and at least you won't have to take all this stuff over and start all over from day one, which again is going to be order of operations, distributive properties, solving, translating, graphing, plotting, etc., for 3 more or 4 more quarters. I just don't think that's something you need to go through. So take a moment, pause the video, try to see what you can do on those 8 questions. Again, there's the 8 questions that we're looking at. And then when you're finished, hit resume to play it or resume the video, and then I'll go over it and you can check to see where you stand and see where you are. In terms of your average, you're looking at, give me a second to grab my calculator. In terms of your average, every question that you get right is worth 11%. So 1 right is going to give you 11. 2 right is going to give you 22. 3 right is going to give you 33. 4 right is going to give you 44, etc. And again, I think I explained it. I don't know if I explained it in the video or if in the sheets or if it was explained in class. If you can average a 50% or higher on everything you do, you're going to be in great position to pass this course. So just do your best. Like I said, just make sure you do what you need to do. All you really need to do is find 5 or 6 questions you can answer on this. So take a second, pause it, and then see how many points you get. And like I said, that'll tell you about what you should expect on Friday, as long as you keep practicing and doing what we need to do. So pause the video, go ahead and check that out, and let's see what happens. Number 21. First thing you want to do is 13 plus 8. 5 plus 4 turns into 9. Number 22, again, same level. First thing you want to do is 12 divided by 6, which is 2. And then 2 times 2 is 4. So again, I would say put a plus by everything you get right. That way you can see what you got. Number 23, which again is the third question. This is the one where it's the same exact thing. Nothing has changed. I'm telling you, we're not trying to trick you at all. First you do the division. 14 minus, that would be 2. Copy your parentheses, 2 and your plus 3. After that, do your multiplication. 14 minus 4 plus 3. After that, 14 minus 4 goes first. And your final answer is 13. If you ended up with 13, that's great. If not, like I said, just make sure you try to figure out what you're doing wrong. But again, the only thing you're doing wrong is you're probably not practicing or just not taking it seriously enough, because I'm telling you, it's right here. PEMDAS. Understanding that these are on the same level and these are on the same level. There's no parentheses, even though that's there, that's multiplication. There's no exponents. We did multiplication and division in order. So there's your division, there's your multiplication, then you do addition, subtraction in order. There's your subtraction, there's your addition. That's it. So literally it's nothing but the same repetitive numbers over and over again. Again, parentheses first. 8 minus 5 turns into 3. You then do the exponents because it's P then E. So exponents next. 3 squared is 3 times 3 or 9. After that, you do your multiplication, division in order. So whoever's in front, 2 times 9 is 18 divided by 2. And then that would be back to 9 as your answer. So again, if you're getting these right, put a plus by it. But just check yourself out. Again, I think you can find 5 of these things. I really believe you can. 25, again, this is the one where you have to substitute. So 3 times 4 squared. 4 squared is 4 times 4 or 16, because remember exponents go first. And then yes, you might have to do this long multiplication. 6 times 3 is 18, carry the 1. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1 is 4, which would be 48. 26. Again, same situation. I think we just did it right here. Parentheses first, exponent second, multiply, divide. Same thing. Parentheses first, exponent second. That's going to be 4. Multiply, which again, remember our new trick is 1/2 times 4 means 1/2 of 4, which is 2. And then 2 divided by 2 is 1. That's it. Nothing new, nothing different, nothing tricky. Just try to take it seriously enough to practice it, and everything should fall into place. This, I believe, was from yesterday. Or maybe it was, yeah, no, this is today's, where you put the -2, because it's -2 goes in for G. We have to do the exponent first, and we remember that when it's -2 times -2, that's a positive 4. Which then, again, multiplication over subtraction ends up being 12 minus 5, and 12 minus 5 ends up being 7. And that's that. And then the 8th problem again, y minus RE with all these numbers. Y is equal to 10, so you put that in there. R is equal to 3, again, because those two are together, be careful. E is equal to 2. Do your multiplication first, because multiplication, again, is higher than addition subtraction, so that turns into 10 minus 6, which has the answer of 4. So work on your Math Excel, get some practice. That assignment is up. Again, it's set up just for you to practice for the quiz, and if you're having issues, make sure you're talking to your teacher. Find a time to talk to your teacher to see what you can do to try to fix some of those things. But outside of that, it's set up for you to practice, and it's set up for you to win. You just got to make sure you put your time in. But outside of that, I'll talk to you later, and good luck.